Hey everyone, this is Ms. Fisher, and this is a video to help you with the Lesson 12 Traversals Make in Unit 5. So when you click on Bubble 2, we went over this in class, but every time you click on the button, the only button that's interactive here, Get Forecast, it gives you the forecast of a city's weather, there you go, for tomorrow. So in Pueblo, we've got the high and low temperature, description of the conditions, and then an image. And we can do it again. It's sunny, but if it's broken clouds, then you have this different image. And again, Charleston, the high and the low. So going into Bubble 3, this is where you have to complete the program. And we had talked about the data set that we're using, which is the daily weather data, which is updated daily. And we talked about how 1 is today's forecast, and 2 is tomorrow's, and 3 is the day after tomorrow, and so forth. So you have 5 days for each city. Now you can download, you can export to CSV, comma separated values, so basically like a spreadsheet. And if you take a look at the spreadsheet here, I wanted to just make sure we understood what that filter function will do for us. So we've got a lot of cities here, and we're going to just focus and simplify our table to just focus on Houston and then my home city of Pittsburgh. I grew up near. So we're going to get this table here, which I already edited. I basically deleted all the other city names. I also deleted the columns that we're not going to be using. So suppose we have this data set which consists of only Pittsburgh and Houston. So we're interested in forecast number, condition description, icon, low and high temperatures. Okay. Now you can see that at this point we've got 10 rows, right? So if we put all the city names in a list, we would have 10 items. All the forecast numbers in the list, again, we would have 10 items. So condition descriptions, these would be strings, 10 strings, 10 strings, 10 numbers, and again, 10 numbers. So when you take a look at the lists that we defined here in our code, okay, our city list is going to get the column of the city, right? The city column. And basically for each city, there are 5 rows. So there's 5 data points for each city, okay? But we don't want all 5, let me close this. We don't want all 5 points. We actually just want the forecast for tomorrow. So we want to filter our data so we only get this row. And let's see here. I'm going to highlight this. We just want this row, and then we want Houston, that row as well, okay? So our original lists are gonna have all these elements, but then we're gonna filter the list, and in our filtered list, we only want the data where the forecast number is equal to 2, okay? So that is our goal. Let's see here. Oh, here we go. So a filter is basically just a device where it takes, something and it filters out elements that are unwanted, and you only get what you want at the end, okay? So here is what we're doing with city lists, okay? So originally we have city lists, and if we only had these 2 cities, we would have Houston 5 times and Pittsburgh 5 times. And our filtered city list would be an empty list. Okay, so if we go back to code, this is what we had here. Okay, and imagine all the city names in the city list, and then the filtered city list is empty. So after we call on the filter function, and we're going to filter it based on the forecast number list I equal 2. So if you think about this, if forecast number equal 2, then we want to include this data right here. Okay, this data, this row and this row, okay? So the city list will not change, okay? However, in the filtered city list, what we're going to do is we're going to add only those rows where the forecast number was equal to 2. So it would be this city element and this city element. And then we wouldn't add all of these because here the forecast number is 1, the forecast number is 3, 4, and 5, and same with these Pittsburghs. Okay. Here is something which the same thing would happen for low temperature list. We've got all of our low temperatures in a list. So all of these low temperatures, right? 25.57, 37, all of these are in a list, and we want to filter it so that if forecast number is 2, we just want those low temperatures, okay? So in this case, we've got the Houston ones and the Pittsburgh ones, so we just want the 64.78 as forecast number. List I, in this case, I is, in this particular list is 1, where the forecast number is 2, okay? So that is what we're doing here. So with that in mind, we only need to filter the lists once. And once we do that, then we can, every time the user hits the get forecast, we're going to call an update screen, and that will call on this function, which will pick a random city and then update these elements with the data from that city. Okay, so in the next video, I will explain how to actually implement the